Hello and welcome to UWS Sports News. I'm Stuart Reid.
And I'm Theodore Antoniou.
First up, Scotland Rugby have ended their autumn internationals with 2 wins out of 4. Andrew Scott can tell us more about how the Ayrshire contingent got on.
Now in tennis, Croatia defeated France at the weekend to win the Davis Cup. Our tennis correspondent Lewis Beryl joins us in the studio. So Lewis, was Croatia's victory over France something of an upset, or was it to be expected?
I don't think it was a major upset, but I think if you'd looked at the bookmakers' prices before it, France would definitely have been down as favourites. They do have the stronger squad overall, albeit Croatia had the most strong singles player in Marin Cilic, the world number 7. So that was probably the strongest player in the tie, to be honest. But then again, France had Nicolas Mahut and Pierre Hughes Herbert, who play week in, week out in the doubles circuit. So that was definitely an advantage that they had.
Mm-hmm. And is the Davis Cup something that means a lot to these players?
Well, I think in the past you've seen your sort of big guns, like say your Rafa Nadal, your Roger Federers, your Andy Murray, skipping early rounds of it, trying to focus on their fitness before major personal events throughout the year. But as you've seen with the likes of Andy Murray before, it can also be a big catalyst for them to go on and achieve major things if they win it. And I think you've seen over the last few years a lot of big players have really focused on trying to win it for their country, almost single-handedly.
Could a victory like this propel the Croatian players on to greater things next year?
I think it definitely could. Marin Cilic is one of these players who's always been on the cusp throughout his whole career. He has won a Grand Slam a couple of years ago at the US Open, but he'll be looking to maybe break into the top 5 or something next year, be up there in the semis and the finals of all the Grand Slams. Borna Koric as well, who played in the Croatian Davis Cup team there as a young up-and-coming player. Something like this, it's probably the equivalent of winning a Masters 1000 event, so it's a big win for him getting into the new year.
And more generally, how is the tennis landscape looking ahead of next year?
Well, it's looking really interesting because the last few months there you saw Novak Djokovic really coming back to form. He's going to go on, he's probably the best player in the world at the moment. Roger Federer, he had a kind of stuttery second part of the year there, age maybe catching up with him a little bit. And then of course Andy Murray makes his comeback, which we'll all be waiting eagerly to see as well. It hadn't gone quite as he'd hoped when he came back last year, but he'll be looking to really kick on and get back to his old self in the new year.
Lewis, thanks for joining us. Now to football, and the Scottish Cup 4th round draw took place on Saturday. We now hand you over to Chris McMillan and Gregor Hines to discuss this in more depth.
Thanks guys, that's all from us at UWS Sports News. I'm Theodore Antoniou.
And I'm Stuart Reid.
Thanks for watching.